This broadcast is brought to you by Colby Brooks with Century 21 Right Pace Real Estate and buyfrombrooks.com. There has been a lot of news across Northeast Arkansas today, and we're going to cover some of that tonight on NEA Report, including a closing of a restaurant that was announced today. Also, Suddenlink is going to meet with you about your complaints. Yeah, finally. Frequent hit and runs being reported across Jonesboro. We've got news on that. And yes, one of the hot buttons that's been talked about, the renaming of Commerce Drive. We'll tell you what's happened with that. Plus, breaking news tonight, an in-custody death is being investigated by Arkansas State Police, and that's next on the NEA Report. Let's start out with breaking news, and we just got an email from Arkansas State Police spokesperson Bill Sadler letting us know about an in-custody death that took place earlier today in Cross County. It happened very early this morning at about 3:45 a.m. The entire incident took place, and we just got it confirmed to us by Arkansas State Police tonight. The release, we'll read it to you in full. It's at neareport.com. It says special agents of the Arkansas State Police Criminal Investigation Division have been requested to open an investigation into the death of an individual who was being taken into custody by Cross County Sheriff's deputies earlier today. And for those watching after the fact, Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019. It says the request for the investigation was directed to the state police by the sheriff, David West of Cross County Sheriff's Department. It says Jeffrey Scott Llewellyn, 41, died after reportedly fleeing on foot from deputies who had approached Llewellyn and a second person in what was described as a field near Arkansas Highways 42 and 163 west of the Bird Eye community. The incident occurred, as I mentioned, very early this morning. 3:45 a.m. is the time that's estimated when it all happened. The manner and cause of death will be determined by the state medical examiner, it says. State police special agents will interview a witness and deputies who were present at the time of the incident, as well as retain custody of evidence that has been collected from the location of death. This is all from the press release. It goes on to finish that the investigative file compiled by the special agents will be presented to the Cross County prosecuting attorney to determine whether any criminal violations may have occurred during the course of this incident. That concludes that part of the press release, well, the full press release, which was from Bill Sadler. We don't have the cause of death. We don't know what happened in this incident, and there are a lot of questions to be answered, but it's always concerning to hear about somebody dying in custody. That is going to be investigated by Arkansas State Police, and we'll keep you up to date on what happens. Well, Suddenlink is going to come to town, actually physically come to town, send executives to town to meet with you. And if you have concerns about this, this is your chance to voice them. We don't have the exact date for the town hall, but it is going to be scheduled in February. Well, that's the expectation, at least, according to a press release from the city of Jonesboro today. Now, NEA Report conducted a poll, and over 2,500 people voted. 90% said they were not satisfied with Suddenlink. The complaints have been off the charts lately, according to the mayor's office, who's been taking a lot of those complaints, especially after a bill inaccurately stated that Suddenlink had a franchise authority, the city had a franchise authority with Suddenlink. In other words, a contract to allow them to be the exclusive provider. That doesn't exist, according to the city, and Suddenlink has since corrected that. And as you can imagine, the mayor would not want people to think that exists, with this being very unpopular at the moment. But the mayor sought out top company officials to voice the displeasure of many who have contacted him. And we've learned that Senior Director of Governmental Affairs for Altus USA and Suddenlink Regional Vice President, as well as Regional Technical Operations Manager, met with the mayor and city officials about the complaints received by the mayor's office. The Suddenlink representatives, according to the release from the city, admitted that a recent convergence of software since Suddenlink was acquired by Altus USA created errors, as well as a breakdown in communication to customers. Of course, that was noted, but the mayor went on to say that the complaints have not entirely been recent, nor can they be uniquely tied to Altus USA taking it over. He says he's received a lot of letters and emails with a wide variety of issues that point to customer service. He said they have increased recently, but they've been coming in for a long time, meaning before the blame can be shifted to this recent computer change, you have to take into account that a lot of people have been mad about this for a while now. What do you think in chat? You're with us right now. Tell me what you think about Suddenlink in Jonesboro. Is it doing all it should do for you, or do you think it leaves a little to be desired? Let us know what you think about this. We're going to let you know whenever that town hall does get scheduled, and Suddenlink has agreed sometime in early 2020. It's expected to be February, but as it was mentioned, also the mayor not happy. Those complaints existing for a while, and it even being stated that the mayor was going to perhaps seek opportunities with other providers, a decision that would be very popular in the eyes of many. Local restaurant Sullys will close its doors at the end of this year. Their last day in business will be New Year's Eve. A post today made by the owner, Sully himself, said that many had heard of the decision. They are going to close the doors, and he mentioned that it's possible someday that they might come back. But he said for now it's best we say our goodbyes. He also mentioned that there will be one hell of a New Year's Eve party. For one last blast, Sully's being on South Caraway Road. If you've ever gone there, they serve Chicago-style food. A lot of pizza stuff there, you know. They were on Main Street originally, but that didn't work out too well. The rent is a little rough over there from what I've heard. But they did move to the Caraway Road location, and unfortunately for them, it didn't work out. A lot of complaints, though, online on our social media page. Whenever we posted this story, a lot of people saying that they saw this coming. Unfortunate for the fans of Sully's, however, that they will be wrapping up business this year. So as I was going through police reports that were made over the weekend, the holiday weekend, a little bit longer of a period, we noticed there was something that just kept popping up over and over. Hit and run accidents, leaving the scene of an accident, that charge popping up on what seemed like countless reports over the weekend, but it's been happening a lot across Jonesboro lately. And for drivers, it may be the right time now to consider preventative measures or options that could help you out, whether that's a personal dash camera, which are pretty cheap, or maybe it's something else. Maybe you just keep a camera nearby in case somebody hits you and you want to grab their license plate or a notepad. For one person that actually was able to write down a license plate number, that's how the individual was identified. It happened at 5:13 p.m. Sunday. Police were dispatched to Red Wolf Boulevard, about the 2400 block. A hit and run had already happened. The woman made contact with the guy and that had struck her and told him she was calling the police, but the report said he called her a nasty name and left the scene. But the woman quickly wrote down his license plate number. That made it quick for authorities, and they were able to find out who it was, and the truck matched up with him too. If you want to know his name, it's at NEAreport.com. I won't mention it in the broadcast, but it's not clear how the charges are going to proceed on him, if they will be filed or if they have to be pursued through an affidavit process by the victim. But that was far from the only hit and run over the weekend, or on Sunday for that matter. At 6:11 Sunday, a hit and run at East Highland Drive in South Caraway. At 6:30, just about 20 minutes later, an accident, hit and run, once again, at East Johnson and Patrick Street. More accidents happened over the weekend. On Friday, it was just around 12:40, it was a little after noon, that the first hit and run, at least the first I was able to locate in the plethora that we found, it took place. It was on Jackson Avenue. The victim's vehicle was struck by a 2005 black Dodge pickup, which left the scene, and a Securitas employee actually made that report because the individual wasn't in the vehicle at the time. It was a parking lot, and they had run into them. After 4 p.m., another one, Phillips Drive, Red Wolf Boulevard. 7 p.m., there was one on Rainwood. And you're getting the picture. More of these happen on Friday that I'm not even getting to yet, including one with a juvenile driver. But a lot of other accidents taking place, and people are running away. And yes, that's against the law. But if you're the person in that position, if you're the victim, something being against the law doesn't necessarily always give you your money back or repair your vehicle. It might help to at least be able to, in those precious couple of moments that happen after the accident, be certain you have their license plate number, or in just many cases, have a description of the vehicle. You would be surprised how many of the reports taken, the victims could not even provide a make or model of the vehicle. And I know many people aren't vehicle experts out there, but in some cases, they couldn't even say the color of the vehicle. Try to be as aware as you can be and keep that information, and hopefully we just save you a little bit of trouble out there. Of course, watch out for people. That always helps too. The Jonesboro City Council voted last night to rename Commerce Drive after Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a debate that has raged on for months and months at the Jonesboro City Council meetings, finally coming to a conclusion, so it would seem. By a vote of 9-3, the Jonesboro City Council suspended the rules for a second and third reading on this version of the ordinance. There's been a few different ones. This one was to rename all of Commerce Drive and not just part of it. This was then passed 9-3, same measure, same margins rather, the ordinance to honor the African American civil rights leader. And when it was passed, well, the room erupted in applause. But online, it was not total support. Clearly, if you've seen social media, there are a lot of people who have voiced their displeasure about this too. The Jonesboro mayor was not able to be at the meeting because of an illness, but he's been on record saying he wanted the street named after Martin Luther King, or wanted a street named after Martin Luther King in Jonesboro, according to the city communications director, Bill Campbell. And he went on to say this was the perfect answer for the city. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight on NEA Report. A bit of a surprise late newscast for many of you, but it was a long news day with a lot of stuff that was going on. So we wanted to keep you up to date on what is happening. But if you'd like more news, we can do that too. It's 99 cents a month. Become a supporter, super cheap, and every morning I wake up at 4 a.m. like a total lunatic and scour all of the news for at least an hour a day, find every story, and I summarize it in 1 or 2 sentences for you because you got no time. You're busy. I understand. This keeps you informed. It also helps us to keep things going. The software, the websites, all of that stuff's not free. And of course, it's a full-time job and then some too. So we appreciate the support. We appreciate you for just liking, sharing, and subscribing and just joining us, because that helps us to keep things going as well. NEAreport.com keeps you up to date. I don't know where I was going with that. I think I messed that up. But anyway, go to NEAreport.com. Check out all of the latest news. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in chat. A ton of cool people joining us tonight. I want to mention one thing I saw. Rachel says she just has Wi-Fi and pays $88 a month to Suddenlink. They are totally ripping you off if you're paying them $88 a month for your Wi-Fi. I'll let you, I don't know. Send me a message. I'll tell you more about why. Thanks for joining us on NEA Report. Stan Morris reporting along with you tonight, and I hope you have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.